Namaste. In today's video, I'll talk about the rising that happens through the Saraswati Nadi. What happens when Kundalini Shakti rises up the Saraswati Nadi? And what happens when the prana or the vayus move up the Saraswati Nadi? Apart from that, I'll even explain the role of Hayagriva and Saraswati in the spiritual or Kundalini awakening process and how these deities affect us in a spiritual path. Before I start the video, I'd like to announce that I'm not a doctor. I speak solely from my experience. I have had the Saraswati Nadi getting activated in my body. That is when I understood how this process works when it comes to the vayus or prana moving through Saraswati Nadi, and I understand the implications of Kundalini Shakti rising through the Saraswati Nadi. In case you have any psychological or physical health problems, please take medical assistance. The motivation for this video was the vision I saw. When the Saraswati Nadi in my body was about to get activated, about 2 or 3 months before the activation of Saraswati Nadi, I was seeing Hayagriva Swami in my third eye. This is the horse-faced god or deity called Hayagriva. I was consistently seeing him in my third eye in a black and white mode. There was a black background, and in that black background, I was seeing his image like this sitting on a rock and looking at me. And he was brilliant white, crystal white in color. Whenever I would close my eyes, he would be there right in front of me. It took me a while to understand his significance, his connection to the Saraswati Nadi. And even now, at times, when I close my eyes and I call out for him, he appears in my third eye. He is the Guru of Shakta Marga. When I say Shakta Marga, it simply means this is the path of the Mother Goddess. Here, the Mother Goddess is the prominent deity in the Tantric path. So she is the one from which the entire universe has emanated, and she is the most important aspect of Shiva and Shakti. So Hayagriva Swami is the Guru of Shakta Tantra Marga. He is the compiler of Vedas. He is the Guru for Saraswati Devi herself. Saraswati Devi is the goddess of education, goddess of wisdom. You can even say that she controls the motor control functions and sensory control functions in a human body. Hayagriva Swami is the Guru of Saraswati. And when the Saraswati Nadi activates in our body, if your path is the Shakta Tantra path, or even in certain instances, you will meet Hayagriva Swami. He is the avatar of Lord Vishnu. They are this trinity in Hindu Dharma, that is the Brahma, who is the creator, Vishnu, who is the sustainer, and Shiva, who is the destroyer. So Hayagriva Swami is just another form of Vishnu, the sustainer. And here he plays the role of a guru. The story behind this avatar of Hayagriva is demons, two demons, Madhu and Kaitaba. They stole the Vedic books, the books which are the very foundation of the Hindu Dharma. They were stolen, and these books were hidden under the sea. Vishnu came to the rescue. He killed the demons and he took out the Vedas, because losing the Vedas would mean that people would have lost a lot of spiritual knowledge. So he again compiled the Vedas. He made different sections of the Vedas and then he gave it back to humanity. Hayagriva is even prayed to in the Buddhist religion. There are still many methods or practices that are dedicated and followed to this day in Buddhism and their practices. Though Hayagriva is now mostly limited to southern India, where few of them are still practicing the rituals for his favors, but otherwise he is more popular in the Buddhist segment. But of course, the background story of Hayagriva there is a little different. Hayagriva, the mantra or the puja ritual can be taken on by people who are interested in exploring knowledge. Those who are interested in understanding scriptures which have a lot of deeper meaning, which is otherwise not understandable by the logical mind. Such type of scriptures, the knowledge of Brahman, which only comes through experience, such type of knowledge also can be understood with the blessings of Hayagriva Swami. He can grant moksha, that is the liberation from the cycles of life and death. He can grant material wealth, and even the Ashtasiddhis, that is the psychic abilities, are under his control. Today's video is about Saraswati Nadi. Saraswati Nadi is one of those few nadis which rises up from the base of our spine and it goes up into the brain center. I will show you a diagram of that Nadi a little later, more closely. So what happens is, when the Saraswati Nadi activates, the deity that is controlling this Nadi is Goddess Saraswati. She represents knowledge, she represents intelligence, memory, muscle and sensory control. She represents power, she represents beautiful body, beautiful mind, strength, the ability to communicate, arts, different subjects, listening, then ability to comprehend, ability to pay attention, to focus, to concentrate, the ability to be in the moment. All this comes with the blessings of Goddess Saraswati. That is why in India, when children start their education, they start their education by seeking the blessings of Goddess Saraswati. So they undergo a puja ritual where they seek the grace of the goddess at the beginning of their education. So the root of Saraswati Nadi is given in the second picture. If you watch closely, you can see that this is starting at the base of the spine, and when it is going up, it is bypassing Swadhisthana Chakra. Swadhisthana Chakra is our sex center. It is bypassing it, and then it is connecting again at the level of Manipura, then again at Anahata, at Vishuddhi, at Agya, and then it ends in the brain region, but it is not reaching the Brahmarandra region. The Brahmarandra is here. It is not coming until here. It is ending a little below the Brahmarandra. So when the Kundalini Shakti moves into this channel, it cannot reach its goal of reaching the Sahasrara Chakra. This is the Brahmarandra Chakra, and this is the entry port for Kundalini to enter the Sahasrara Chakra. If Kundalini Shakti, what is Kundalini and what is Kundalini Shakti? I made a video earlier. Kundalini is a 3.5 coiled snake that is there, which is dormant at the base of your spine. And Kundalini Shakti is the power of the snake, that is the electrical power of the snake. So before the snake can uncoil and rise, its electrical power rises up the spine, and it should not go into the wrong path. And Saraswati path rising is not desirable rising, because it does not culminate in the Sahasrara Chakra. Rather, it culminates a little beneath the Sahasrara chakra, and Kundalini cannot reach its goal of merging with Paramashiva who is in the Sahasrara chakra. If Kundalini Shakti rises up the Saraswati Nadi, then it has to be guided into the central Sushumna channel by the help of a guru. There are two things here. One is Kundalini Shakti going into the Saraswati Nadi, and the other thing is the prana or the Vayus going into the Saraswati Nadi. The Vayus going into the Saraswati Nadi, activating the Saraswati Nadi path, removing blocks in the Saraswati Nadi path is highly desirable. This way we can access the powers of the goddess. Many gurus, they do a practice called Saraswati Chalana, that is activating the Saraswati Nadi even before they can activate the Kundalini snake that is sleeping at the bottom of the spine. In this practice of Kumbhaka, a practice of prolonged in-breath, and different types of breathing and yogic practices are done over a period of time under the guidance of a guru. And these yogic practices, they activate the Saraswati Nadi part. When I mean activate, it simply means that the Vayus or the pranic energy is able to move through it. There are no blocks in the Saraswati Nadi. So once the Saraswati Nadi is activated, then the disciple is shown how to activate the central Sushumna channel, and then the guru helps the disciple to move the snake through the central Sushumna channel up to the Sahasrara chakra. So Saraswati Nadi activation is considered important even when you want the Kundalini snake to proceed through the Sushumna Nadi to reach the Sahasrara channel. In a Kundalini awakening process, once the Kundalini reaches through the Sushumna Nadi, she reaches to this point, a little above the Agya chakra. She sits there, and from there she opens up a lot of nadis. A lot of energy starts flowing through all those nadis. Because now you are undergoing the full or the total Kundalini activation. So even the peripheral nerves in your body are getting activated. So Saraswati Nadi, it comes under the category of, group of peripheral nerves, which I'll talk about shortly. The Saraswati Nadi, it ends in this region, that is the motor and sensory control region of the brain. It is not reaching the Brahmarandra. It is just stopping at that level. The Saraswati Nadi, it controls the various muscles in your body. The strength of your muscle, how big the muscle is, or is the muscle content shrinking, all these things come under the control of the Saraswati Nadi. The various movements of muscles, the coordination that happens between muscles and tendons and ligaments, a lot of that communication, coordination, it all comes under Saraswati Nadi's zone. And then sensory organs. The 5 sensory organs, that is touch, taste, sight, smell and hearing. These 5 sensory organs also are under the control of Saraswati Nadi. But as I said earlier, Saraswati Nadi, it is bypassing the Swadhisthana chakra or the sex center. So many of those things that are related to the Swadhisthana chakra, they don't come under the purview of the Saraswati Nadi. At least in my experience, the way this channel opened up, the way the energy flowed through this channel, that is what I experienced. In the picture here, you can see the various nadis which start at the base of the spine and they go up to the bindu in the Sahasrara chakra. This is the bindu in the Sahasrara chakra. So these nadis are the various pathways that can help Kundalini to rise up and merge with the bindu in the Sahasrara chakra. Here, the central Sushumna channel is the most desirable channel. Okay. Apart from that, you have the Chitrini Nadi, the Brahma Nadi. These three nadis, Sushumna, Chitrini, and Brahma Nadi, these three nadis, they will help Kundalini to reach the Sahasrara Chakra. But there are other nadis into which Kundalini Shakti should not go into. I again reiterate that Kundalini Shakti is different from the pranic flow. So here I'm not talking about the pranic flow. Pranic flow will flow into all channels once Kundalini's full activation happens in your body. But here I'm talking about the electrical energy of the snake, which rises before the Kundalini snake can rise and move through the Brahmanadi to reach the Sahasrara Chakra. In this scenario, when the Kundalini activation happens, the electrical energy of the snake should not enter Saraswati Nadi. If it enters into the Saraswati Nadi, there will be a lot of symptoms, and it can even lead to certain health issues, because here the process is not culminating. Kundalini gets frustrated because it cannot reach Sahasrara Chakra. So it keeps moving up and down, up and down in the channel, Saraswati channel. This will affect the health, vitality of the person. Now the Saraswati Nadi, is the green channel here. So Saraswati Nadi starts at the base. If you watch very closely, this is the Muladhara Chakra, this is the Swadhisthana Chakra, this is the Manipura Chakra, the Anahata Chakra, the Vishuddhi Chakra, the Agya Chakra, and the Sahasrara Chakra. This Saraswati Nadi starts at the base of the spine. It is bypassing the Swadhisthana Chakra and it is coming to the Manipura Chakra. Again, from here you will see that it is moving away from the spine, and then it is again uniting with Anahata Chakra region. Again here it moves away, and then it is again reuniting with the Vishuddha Chakra region. Then again at the Agya Chakra region, and then it culminates just beneath the Brahmarandra. So it is not reaching the Bindu. So Kundalini Shakti should not take this path. This is the path of the Saraswati Nadi. If you look at the spine we have the central nervous system and the peripheral nervous system. So the Saraswati Nadi, it comes in the peripheral nervous system. It is not going through the central nervous system. This is the Brahmarandra here. It is not coming till there. It is ending in the motor and sensory cortex region here. The first picture here, you can see the central nervous system, which consists of the brain and the spinal cord. And the second picture is the peripheral nervous system. Here the nerves are coming out of the spine and moving into various parts of the body. So this is the peripheral nervous system. And Saraswati Nadi moves through the bunch of peripheral nerves, which I'll talk about a little later. So there are many spinal nerves that come out of the spine. And when somebody has the Saraswati Nadi rising, which is undesirable, as I said earlier, the symptoms which they can experience, that is when Kundalini Shakti is entering the Saraswati Nadi. They can have shortness of breath. They will have these episodes where they feel that they're stuck somewhere. They feel breathless. Claustrophobia is experienced once in a while by this person for no reason. They will have frequent flus. Many of them can go two ways, that is, either they are not sleeping or they may be sleeping too much. Excessive sleeping, even in the daytime, they need to sleep a lot, they need plenty of rest, they feel a lot of fatigue, too many headaches, loss of muscle control, because as I said earlier, Saraswati, she controls the muscle and sensory cortex. So sudden loss of muscle, or maybe there's sudden change in how you can use muscles in your body. Maybe you might lose grip over using certain muscles. Sometimes the abdominal muscle might go a little, this way or that way, swing a little differently when you're breathing. And then Saraswati Nadi rising generates a lot of heat in the body. So the palms, the feet, they all tend to get hot. The eyes, there's a burning sensation in the eyes. You will feel a lot of movements in the facial region, a lot of burning, tingling sensations, and then sudden pain. Sometimes cramps are also experienced when somebody has the Shakti rising to the Saraswati Nadi. In such a scenario, they have to take the help of a guru and they have to change the direction of the Kundalini Shakti from the Saraswati Nadi into the central Sushumna channel. The activation of Saraswati Nadi can give that person plenty of psychic abilities, ability to understand difficult concepts easily, very high level intellectual capability, emotional capability. The awareness level is high. They can experience certain states, higher spiritual states easily. Apart from that, they can even gain access to subjects which are beyond the earthly domain. Now, the Saraswati Nadi rising, as I showed in the earlier picture, it is connected to the stomach region, it is connected to the Anahata chakra, it is connected to the Vishuddhi chakra, and here also it is connected. But the Kundalini Shakti can be diverted from the Saraswati Nadi into the Sushumna channel or the central channel in the Manipura chakra area, that is the stomach chakra, or at the level of the Vishuddhi chakra. The Guru will do that for you. When the Saraswati Nadi, it got activated in my body. When I say activation, it is that the pranic flow, it went through the Saraswati Nadi in my body. When this happened, I could map the flow of Saraswati Nadi in my body. It starts at the base of the spine and it ends in this region, the motor and sensory cortex region. Here I am not talking about Kundalini Shakti entering the Saraswati Nadi. Here I am talking about the activation of Saraswati Nadi because the Vayus or the pranic energy have gone into it and the blockages have been removed in it. The Saraswati Nadi is a bunch of peripheral nerves. In the pranic sheath, there is one Nadi, which is the Saraswati Nadi, which is flowing continuously from the base of the spine to the brain. But this, when it gets represented in the physical body, it gets represented as number of peripheral nerves at different level. So many of these peripheral nerves, the activity that happens in them together, that is the activity of Saraswati Nadi. So I have listed out the nerves that participate and which are connected to the Saraswati Nadi. And when the Saraswati Nadi in our body gets activated, all these nerves, they feel a little electrical buzzing energy moving through them, and you can easily understand and identify which nerves are associated with Saraswati Nadi. Starting at the base, you have the sciatica nerve, then the sacrococcygeal nerves, then the phrenic nerve, and then the trigeminal hypoglossal nerve, and then the sensory and motor cortex. At the base of the spine, you have the Muladhara chakra. In and around that area, you have the sciatica nerve. So this nerve, it descends into the legs and it controls the muscles of the legs. Next level, you will see the Swadhisthana chakra. But what is happening here is, at the level of Swadhisthana chakra, I told you that the Saraswati Nadi is bypassing the sex center. So any sensations which are associated with the sex center, maybe even the muscle contractions that happen at the level of the sex center, I don't think they come under the control of the Saraswati Nadi. Saraswati Nadi is bypassing this area, and if you look at the spine very closely here, what right from the Manipura area, in the second picture you can see the spine colored in red. Just where the spine ends, that is the red color in the spine ends, you will see a bunch of peripheral nerves coming out. And these peripheral nerves, they form a bunch, and this area is called the cauda equina. That is what is represented in the first picture here. This is even called as horse tail, because the bunch that comes out, it looks like a horse tail. So here what is happening is, the spine is, the shape of the spine, the organization of a spine is undergoing a little change in this region. And here the Saraswati Nadi is using the peripheral nerves to pass through it, and it is bypassing the Swadhisthana chakra. So cauda equina is the part which comes in the path of Saraswati Nadi when it is rising up the spine. It is even more clearer here. The arrow that you see here in the picture, the black arrow, it is pointing towards the Swadhisthana chakra in our body. And when you look at the other end of the arrow, you will see where exactly that gets represented in our spine. And that is where the spine changes in its organization, in the way the structure functions. It is a change there, and there the peripheral nerves come out as a bunch. And this bunch is what is called as cauda equina. So from Mooladhara, it is bypassing the Swadhisthana chakra and it is going directly to the Manipura chakra. But it is using the peripheral nerves, the bunch of nerves that have come out at that region, it is using that nerves as a path to move to the Manipura chakra. Next, at the rib cage region, you have the intercostal nerves. So it is using the intercostal nerves, and right from the abdominal region, the heart region and the throat region, it is using the phrenic nerve. So phrenic, you have the phrenic nerve and the right phrenic nerve. It starts in this region here. That is why when Kundalini Shakti enters Saraswati Nadi, there will be pain in this region. Because the major nerve that is working in the Saraswati Nadi path is the phrenic nerve. The major part of the Saraswati Nadi is the abdomen, diaphragm, the lungs, the heart, the Vishuddhi chakra. They play a major role here. And the phrenic nerve is what plays that role. Even when Kundalini Prana enters or activates the Saraswati Nadi, for few days you can feel a little stress in this area, a little pain in the phrenic region, because that Nadi is getting activated. This is how the diaphragm is moving up and down when we breathe in and out. The phrenic nerve is connected with the diaphragm. The phrenic nerve, it controls the movements of the diaphragm. It is the major nerve which sort of innervates the upper side of the diaphragm, and it even goes into the diaphragm region. Diaphragm is closely associated with your breathing process. If the diaphragm does not work, then we cannot breathe. The diaphragm, the lungs, the heart, the throat area, the phrenic nerve, it plays a very important role in this region. This is how the phrenic nerve innervates the heart, the throat, and the diaphragm region. And beneath the diaphragm, you have other nerves which come out and they innervate the various organs that are there underneath the diaphragm region. That is your gallbladder, pancreas, liver, the intestines. If you look at the phrenic nerve now, you will understand its connection with the chakras in our body. The diaphragm area, where the Saraswati Nadi is going and meeting with the Manipura chakra, it is somewhere in this area that the Manipura chakra of comes in the path of the Saraswati Nadi rising. Then comes the Anahata region. You will see that the phrenic nerve is even innervating the heart muscles. And then at the Vishuddhi chakra. Vishuddhi chakra is like a junction. Many different nerves move through this area. It is a very small area when compared to the width of our body, but this holds the most number of nerves passing through it. It is very important nerve junction. From the Vishuddhi chakra region, the phrenic nerve starts here, and when it is moving up, it connects with the hypoglossal nerve. The hypoglossal nerve comes into the tongue. It ends at the tip of the tongue. That is why when somebody has the blessings of Saraswati Devi, they have a siddhi or a psychic ability called Vakshuddhi. Vakshuddhi simply means that literally Saraswati goddess is controlling your tongue. You know what to talk. You know when to talk. You're very careful with your words. You understand your words have power. So you use your words very wisely. And because of that, you will not draw unnecessary negativity into your life. A wise person has control over their tongue. They choose their words wisely, and that ability comes when the hypoglossal nerve in your nervous system gets activated, because when that happens, Saraswati comes and sits on your tongue. The power of our intelligence is working through your tongue. Then from the hypoglossal region into the face, I told you that Saraswati Nadi even controls the sensory organs, the eyes, the nose, in the sense the sight, smell, taste, touch, and then hearing. That ability, it comes from Saraswati Nadi. So here you can see the trigeminal nerve. The trigeminal nerve and a few other nerves, they innervate the face. When Saraswati Nadi gets activated, you will feel energy entering into the eyes here. Eyes burn a little. You can feel a lot of nervous connections moving up into your face. You can feel nervous pathways in your face getting activated. For me, I felt this nose ridge area here. It suddenly, energy, a small tube of energy, it pushed through this area, went up into that head. When Saraswati Nadi activates, you can feel a lot of sensations, electrical sensations in your face. These electrical sensations will go into your ears, into your eyes, nose, mouth, lips area. You can feel a little circling of energy in this area. There a little circling of energy in this region. And the most prominent thing which I felt was energy forming a small channel or a small channel of energy at the top of the nose bridge opened up, and that energy went up into my eyes, corner of the eyes, inner corners, and then it went up into my forehead, and it was branching out in my forehead. So these were sensations I experienced when Saraswati Nadi got activated in the face region. So typically what is happening here is, at the lower level, you have the motor control nerves at that level. And when the motor control nerves, especially the peripheral nerves, they work together, they form the Saraswati Nadi. And at the phrenic nerve region, from this region up into the head, you have the another set of nerves taking up that signal. But the most important nerve in this entire Saraswati Nadi group is the phrenic nerve. It plays a major important role. So the Saraswati Nadi, it enters in the motor or sensory cortex. So when this Nadi gets activated, you will feel a lot of energetic movement in this area. This area sort of, lot of electrical impulses, and even here at the back. And then this area does not work separately. It works with other centers that are there in the brain. So you will even feel electrical current and vibrations in other areas of the brain, especially the amygdala, the hippocampus. Now these areas can light up or they can get activated even when Kundalini or even when prana moves into the head through other paths. But this happens in the Saraswati Nadi path also. In this picture now it is very clear for you that the path is the peripheral nervous system. It is not going into the central nervous system. It connects very well at the stomach region and at the throat region. And that is why when Kundalini Shakti goes into the Saraswati Nadi, it can be diverted at the stomach or the throat region. The nerves at the base of the spine, like the sacral, the coccygeal nerve, or the sciatica nerve, and then the phrenic nerve is the major nerve. It starts at the abdomen and till the neck region you have the phrenic nerve. Then the trigeminal and hypoglossal nerve and few other nerves in that area, and they lead up into the motor or sensory cortex in the brain. This is the path of the Saraswati Nadi rising. Or even when Saraswati Nadi gets activated, you will feel the pranic energy moving through this path. The most important centers in the phrenic nerve pathway are the Vishuddha Chakra, the Anahata Chakra, and then the Manipura Chakra. When we have a Kundalini awakening, or even when one undergoes a top-down awakening, that is when the descent of grace is happening in that person's body, it is changing the person's body. At a point, it goes down and it turns upwards. When it is turning upwards and moving up the body, it is moving through the body. When this happens, here also the diaphragm, the heart region, the thymus gland, they all get influenced by this upward pranic flow. So here the phrenic nerve gets activated even in a top-down awakening, and even when the Kundalini is rising through the central channel, a down-up Kundalini awakening, there also the phrenic nerve gets affected. So that is why when somebody is having a top-down awakening, and the auric field is moving through their body, they will feel that the auric field is stuck at the region of the Manipura chakra and it is trying to push up, whereas something is hindering it from going up. That is a certain idea or certain belief which they have subscribed to, which they have to let go. And once they let go those dysfunctional ideas, the energy pushes up through the body. So here the diaphragm is affected, and then the thymus gland generally it slows down once we come into our teens. Once we are 15-16 years old, the thymus gland does not function as it functioned in our younger days. So this gland, it produces the T cells which gives us good immunity. But after we have reached the age of 15 or 16, this gland shrinks. It is not producing T cells. It is sort of nearly inactive. But now with this new energetic flow happening through the body, the thymus gland again starts expanding. It opens up. It starts reactivating. In a normal person, that does not happen. This will only happen in somebody who's undergoing a type of spiritual awakening. It could be a Kundalini awakening. It could be a top-down or some other kind of a spiritual awakening. That is when the thymus gland gets activated. You will feel pain in this region. Generally, when the phrenic nerve activity is very high, this pain here, it feels a little piercing. In such a state, you have to sort of hit your thymus gland to relieve yourself of that pain. And here you will even realize that you are experiencing shortness of breath. It feels like your diaphragm is not lifting up and you have to struggle for every breath. That is because when we are breathing in, the diaphragm goes down. When we are breathing out, the diaphragm goes up. But what happens in the activation process is either the right phrenic nerve or the left phrenic nerve is affected by the energy. So it is not functioning properly. Not that it will not function at all, but for a brief period, say for half an hour or an hour, because the energy is moving through the system, and the nerves which help to regulate your body functions. They even help you for spiritual evolution. So now the nerves in your body, they have additional duty. That is, they have to help you to evolve spiritually. Your body vibration has to be raised. So at this point, when the pranic energy is moving through this phrenic nerve zone, the phrenic nerve is doing other high level spiritual changes in your body. So during that phase or that time, the normal functioning of the phrenic nerve can get affected. So the diaphragm, which sort of moves down when we breathe in, when we breathe out, it is supposed to lift upwards. But what happens here is either the right phrenic nerve or the left phrenic nerve may be busy doing other things. So they are not functioning properly in that given time. So what happens here is, say for example, your left phrenic nerve is not working properly. It is doing that spiritual jobs. So then what happens when the diaphragm has to rise up? Only the right one will rise up like this. So the diaphragm, instead of rising up like this, it will rise like this. It is a little tilted. When it is a little tilted, you will feel that shortness of breath. And whenever the diaphragm is involved in the spiritual change, you will have certain episodes of feeling breathlessness. You might want to open the doors and go outdoors. You might go into an open space. You might be standing under trees, but you will still be feeling breathless. You feel suffocated, maybe half an hour or maybe 15 minutes. You have to go out. You feel that urge. Apart from that, uh, you will feel pain in this area and claustrophobia. During this phase, what I understood is even dreams, or maybe suddenly you might feel that you're stuck in some place, or some thought that maybe you got trapped inside a box and you can't come out of that box and there's nobody to open the box. These types of thoughts flash in your mind, even the images, and immediately we feel the fear, the panic, the claustrophobia that comes. It is all associated with the activation of the phrenic nerve. So here major changes are happening, and the heart too is undergoing a change here. The heart field opens up. The person feels uh, connected to everything. A lot of empathy and awareness is increasing in the person. The ability to be in the moment, those type of experiences also come from Saraswati Nadi, because it is working in this area. See, in this area you have the Anahata Chakra, then you have the Hrit Chakra, you have the Manas Padma here, and then you have this thymus gland here. So here this area is that area which can give you experiences which will change your life. Certain experiences like being in that moment, not feeling the stress of external life, but rather you feel that you're enclosed in a bubble, and that bubble is, it feels blissful in that bubble. Those type of experiences come from this zone. Apart from that, your ability to develop sattvic qualities, that is, when I say sattvic qualities, it means more positive qualities like kindness, joy, peace, happiness. That ability to change yourself, to develop those qualities, that comes from the Manas Padma, which is there on the right side here. So the energy, even if it is a top-down awakening, or whether it is a Kundalini awakening, or whether any type of spiritual awakening, it is affecting this area, and the phrenic nerve is getting affected here. And once the phrenic nerve is changing with this process, the person changes a lot in one lifetime. The person becomes a very deep, empathetic person. He is present in the moment. A lot of increase in emotional intelligence, inner awareness increases. The person is more present to the situation, and he's more aware to his thoughts, his behaviors. He is more open minded. He understands more. He can comprehend life more. He can connect the dots more in life. So when the Saraswati Nadi gets activated in your body, here when I say activation is that when the pranic energy is moving through the Saraswati Nadi and the blockages are removed, or when it is trying to remove the blockages in the Saraswati Nadi, the type of symptoms one will experience is, first thing is hiccups. I used to have hiccups very often, and those hiccups would not go no matter what I did. They would come on their own, and I would go on with those hiccups, maybe about for half an hour time period. Later on, they would vanish on their own. So I would never understand what caused those hiccups and why those hiccups have stopped. Then, as I said earlier, the diaphragm related issues where you might feel a little breathless or the shortness of breath, and then the burning of palms and feet, the underside of the feet, then burning of eyes, a little pain in the nerves, or a kind of a burning pain passing through the nerves, but that is not much. In my case, I did not experience that much. Then uh, you will feel a lot of energy moving through your muscles. That is if number one symptom. Because Saraswati Nadi is connected with your motor cortex, it is connected with your muscles. Lot of electrical energy will move into different muscles in your body. Your sciatic muscles that are there in your legs, the muscles in your arms, the muscles in this region, the muscles in your stomach region, the back. You will feel lot of electrical impulses passing through all the muscles. You will even feel electrical impulses in and around the sensory organs. Some can lose weight, they can be muscle loss, or for some, on the other hand, they might gain muscle. Generally, when the Saraswati Nadi gets activated, the person develops physical strength also. When it happens the right way, uh, the person develops good physical strength, mental strength, and then the body also. Now you feel you can move your body effortlessly. For example, if somebody is into dancing, they will realize that their body is moving without much effort and it moves very gracefully because the Saraswati Nadi has got activated in the body. Hand movements also become effortless. You will notice that you can write better than what you wrote earlier. You can think better. There is more creativity happening in the mind. Higher intelligences are acceptable. There's more clarity of thought, and then you understand the long term effects of what you say and what you do. So you're very careful as to how you use your words. You understand that words have power. That understanding comes when the Saraswati Nadi gets activated. Then you will feel lot of energy moving in the intercostal nerves, rib cage region. Lot of energy will be moving around in that area. And then when Saraswati Nadi gets activated, all the organs that are connected to the Saraswati Nadi, that is the abdominal organs, the pancreas, the gallbladder, the intestines, etc., the energy starts moving through them. And because of that, they become very healthy. The functioning improves. Headaches, especially in the motor and sensory cortex region, when a new brain centers are opening up in the head, it is normal to have headaches. And then the Saraswati Chalana, when that energy is moving through the digestive system, it has the ability to even get rid of intestinal worms. That energy moves through the stomach, through the intestines. You can feel it moving through it. And as you all are aware that our intuition, the way we can connect with our intuition is through our intestines or the lower part of your gut. So your inner intuition is heightened, your inner creativity is heightened. Few more symptoms which I noticed with regard to phrenic nerve was, apart from the hiccups, I often had this problem where when I would swallow something, it would go into the air pipe that is there instead of the food pipe, because of which I would choke. I had to throw out what I was eating. I would go a little breathless because water went into the air pipe. So these are normal when you're having the Saraswati Nadi activated in your body because the free neck nerve is involved in it. Apart from that, I used to even have difficulty swallowing. Sometimes the food would get stuck in this region, and even to this day, I need to keep a glass of water when I'm eating something so that I don't feel choked. Then, cramps are another thing that you will notice. The cramps that come in muscles can be very painful. These are a side effect of the Saraswati Nadi getting activated. Even otherwise, in a Kundalini awakening process, muscle cramps right throughout the spiritual journey, they are experienced. In the entire Saraswati Nadi, what I realized is the phrenic nerve is where most of the activity happens. So, in this phrenic nerve, you have three chakras. One is the Vishuddhi chakra, the Anahata chakra, and then the stomach chakra or the Manipura chakra. Here, three goddesses reside. When the Saraswati Nadi activates in your body, these three goddesses' presence in your body can be experienced. So the first goddess is Saraswati, the goddess of knowledge herself. She resides in the throat area. And her mantra, Beeja mantra, is Hreem. The mantra is the body of the goddess. So when the phonetic Hreem is pronounced, it is the form of the goddess. The next chakra is the Anahata chakra. The Beeja mantra for this is Shreem, and the deity or the goddess that is present at the heart region is goddess Lakshmi, the goddess of wealth. Next is the Manipura chakra. The Manipura chakra, it is the goddess Durga, the goddess Shakti herself, and her Beeja mantra is Kleem. So these three goddesses, their presence can be felt when the Saraswati Nadi gets activated in your body. And how can this be felt? When the Saraswati Nadi is active, and when you sit down in prayer and you say these Beeja mantras, Hreem, Shreem, Kleem, the goddesses respond. When I do this, I feel waves of bliss going up through my body. It's like those goddesses are blessing me. And that waves of bliss, they work on the heart chakra. With these type of experiences, you grow further in your spiritual evolution. And then certain times I can feel that waves of bliss going down into the stomach region, the intestinal region. So bliss is traveling through the intestines, the diaphragm, the heart region. It is going up to the throat region. Especially when you have the Saraswati Nadi activated, if you take up sadhana of mantras, you can easily feel the presence of the deity. The deities will respond to you easily, because even for the deities to respond to us, we need to raise our vibration. When we have raised our vibration, it is easier to connect with the deity. So here at the phrenic nerve region, you have three goddesses sitting here. For the phrenic nerve to work well, the foods, they are alpha lipolic acid, then the omega-3 fatty acids which you have in flax seeds, uh, vitamin B, B12, and then whole grains, they are good. Apart from that, turmeric. Turmeric is an important food for the phrenic nerve to function well. And that is why in India, when there are any festivals or any rituals for these goddesses, we use turmeric. Unconsciously, we are aware that these three goddesses are present in these three areas in our body. And that is why when we do a ritual to goddess Shakti or Durga, if we do not have the idol of the goddess, we use a small ball of turmeric as her presence in the ritual. Lakshmi is also associated with turmeric, and that is why we apply turmeric to the main door threshold in our homes, because we consider that Lakshmi. And even when we buy new items like clothes or jewelry, anything, we apply a little of turmeric in some corner, because that way you're honoring the goddess. So when we honor the goddess, we use turmeric. And Saraswati also. When we start new knowledge learning, for example, we go into arts, or we are starting sports, or we learning a new course, many of them, they are still to this day, they apply a little turmeric to their books, because we understand the association between turmeric and the phrenic nerve. And the phrenic nerve is associated with these three goddesses. And when this phrenic nerve gets activated, you have the blessing of all these three goddesses, and you can feel their presence in these three areas in your body. So the Beeja mantras are Hreem, Shreem, and Kleem. In case your Saraswati Nadi, if it is activated a little, you can feel activity in this part of the body, then chanting these three Beeja mantras can further enhance the levels of bliss you can experience. Now, I spoke about Hayagriva being the guru of Goddess Saraswati. I always say that many spiritual signs or symbols, they are part of the human body makeup. You can see the presence of those deities or of that power in some structure in our body. So I told you that Hayagriva is the guru of Goddess Saraswati. And now you have understood the path of Saraswati Nadi in the body. And I spoke about how Saraswati Nadi bypasses the sex center or Swadhisthana chakra. And there, a group of peripheral nerves come out from the spinal region. And these are called as cauda equina or horse tail. That is how doctors call it, because it looks like a horse tail. And who is the horse-faced god? It is Hayagriva. So the presence of Hayagriva in the Saraswati Nadi path, it is this area that is symbolic of his presence. The structure at the level of the Swadhisthana chakra, it is called a horse tail, and you will see the presence of a horse tail here. So you will see symbols which are related to the deity in the body. This is the Hayagriva mantra, the mantra of the horse-faced god Hayagriva, who is the form or avatara of Sri Mahavishnu or God Vishnu. Hayagriva, you have two mantras. You have a 29-lettered mantra and you have a 28-lettered mantra. If you look at this mantra very closely, you will notice that you have Shreem in it, you have Kleem in it, and you have Hreem in it. These three Beeja mantras, Hreem, Kleem, Shreem, they belong to the phrenic nerve in your body. The phrenic nerve comes in the pathway of the Saraswati Nadi. It is very active in that pathway. The phrenic nerve is Saraswati Nadi pathway and the pathway of knowledge. And who is the guru of Saraswati Nadi? It is Hayagriva. And that is why you will see the Shreem, Kleem and Hreem in his mantra. The Beeja mantra of Hayagriva Swami is Clown. We all have heard the horse neighing. When you try to do it, the air will come out of the nose, it will come out of the mouth. Yes, and there's a lot of force in the lungs when you're trying to do it. The diaphragm moves. In the same way, the Beeja mantra of Hayagriva is Hlaum. When you're saying Hlaum, you will notice that air is coming out of with force from your nose, from your mouth. The tongue tip, which I told you is this place where Saraswati Devi's that Nadi ends, a branch of it ends, that is the hypoglossal nerve. It ends at the tip of the tongue. The tip of the tongue, it connects with the inside of the mouth, that is behind the teeth. And the horse teeth are very important spiritually, they have a significance. So the tip of the tongue is touching to the teeth in the mouth when you say the mantra Hlaum. And when you do that, you will feel a lot of force in your lungs, in your diaphragm. And then Ha is one phonetic that is present in your Agya chakra. This is here. You have two petals here. Ha is one of those petals. Ha and Sha. So here the Beeja mantra is Ha is used here in the Beeja mantra. So it is Hlaum. When you're saying Hlaum, you are using your Agya chakra, you're using your Vishuddhi chakra. The entire phrenic nerve system is getting used when you pronounce this mantra called Hlaum. And that is why when you chant the Beeja mantra of Hayagriva Swami, you get more intelligent. When you chant the Beeja mantras of Hreem, Shreem, Kleem, you're inviting the energies of these goddesses onto you. Even for somebody who is uninitiated, even for somebody who is not experiencing any spiritual movements in their body, even those people can chant these mantras, because when you're doing it, you are sort of activating your phrenic nerve in your body, which is a very important nerve center, and it helps you to experience higher spiritual states. The thing that I noticed when my Saraswati Nadi got activated was the brain wave, the activity, it changed. I could feel higher vibrational waves in my head. I was more present in the moment. Earlier, my thoughts would drift here and there, but now I'm just there in the moment. I can feel that moment. I'm more focused, high levels of concentration. And that is because when the Saraswati Nadi gets activated, there is more of beta wave activity in the head, upper alpha or beta wave activity. And that is why learning becomes faster. You take out a new subject, you try to study it, you do it maybe in half the time or maybe 1/3 of the time. You are now more open to learning. Things make sense to you. You can see the connection between different subjects. So you can understand how biology is linked to engineering, and how architecture is linked to gardening. You can see the different connections between different subjects, and even metaphysical subjects. Now you can understand those subjects even better. You are not living life from a limited perspective. Rather, your perspective towards life, towards the existence, everything changes, because now you're using your higher awareness. If I have to give you a good example as to how we use Saraswati Nadi in our daily life, how Saraswati Nadi, it affects every task we do and how it can make us a better performer, I'll give you an example. Say, for example, you're playing football. A football player should have strong muscles. He should have complete focus, concentration. He should have good memory, because when he sees where the ball is, and if he turns his head, he should remember which player has that ball and from which direction that ball is coming. He should remember that. He should have the knowledge of how that player previously played in the game. If your Saraswati Nadi works well, you can remember every person's or every player's skill sets in the game. You can understand how a player is playing the game, and you can speculate how he will play in the game or which direction the ball will go because he has certain movements which come natural to him. So all these things you will understand when you're able to connect dots. That memory, different parts in your brain have to coordinate for you to be able to generate that kind of information. So it's not just the motor and sensory cortex, your hippocampus, the amygdala, and many other parts in your brain are working along with the sensory and motor cortex to generate information, images, awareness, focus, memory, all these things put together. The output is brilliant. You're using your entire mental and motor faculties while you're playing that game. To have a good grip on a subject, or even when I hold an object, say I'm holding this pen, to hold this pen and to have a good grip on this pen, my motor and sensory cortex should work correctly. So when Saraswati Nadi functioning in our body improves, the overall quality of our life improves, our overall potential improves, both physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. The Saraswati Chalana, or the practices that are directed towards activating the Saraswati Nadi, they are a set of breathing exercises which should be done under the guidance of able guru. If you can do that, once Saraswati Chalana happens, from there the next set of exercises can help to wake up the Kundalini that is there in the Muladhara chakra. Thank you.